Hey, it's Tazzy here, and I just wanted to wish one of our squishies, a very important squishy, a big happy birthday. Happy birthday, Rehab, and I hope you really enjoy your day. And thank you for always being so organized with everything and helping out with the AMA with KP. And JJ,
I'm back. You back?
Thank you so much for everything.
Oh, they're still watching
very
it.
big
Okay.
day, Rehab. I just wanted to wish one of our squishies, a very important squishy, a big happy birthday. Happy
Thanks,
birthday,
everybody.
Rehab. And I hope you really enjoy your day. And thank you for always being
Alright.
so organized.
Ray has the greatest.
So
That's
I
what we've
just
learned.
realized because it's one of those days that I played the wrong file and that no one can hear any of us on my side.
With KP.
Oh.
And
Somebody just popped into chat and was like, JJ's on mute on his channel.
I just wanted.
I mean, it's a typical Monday.
Squishy.
Yeah.
We're doing Monday right.
I've had a lot to deal with today, okay? But yeah, so by the way, short story straw, if we're going to be talking about sharks today. Oh, Raya, oh, KP, who, me, Tessa's on chat, welcome Tessa. And short story run up, I swam with sharks the one time, it was wonderful, they didn't bite me, cool. And we're going to go back into sharks, and we had a birthday message that did not sound like Tazlina.
That was a lot of very quickly. There.
Just catching up on what we were not talking about because you couldn't hear it.
Okay.
All right, so we can get straight into the questions. You'll have very good.
Yeah, I do want to say that I also don't know an enormous amount about sharks. So if other people know more about sharks than me, feel free to chime in. I did do some research, but I work with warm-blooded creatures. So, and actually, sharks are a little bit warm-blooded, aren't they? They're kind of in between.
No, there's just a few that have, like the salmon shark.
Yeah.
Has like their veins just run really close to the muscles. So it's not a true bloodedness.
Well,
wow.
Anyway, there we go. Showing my lack of shark knowledge already. But anyway, so if I say something completely wrong, correct me, because I was wrong. All right.
I'll do my best because my only knowledge of sharks is like, yeah, look, a shark, they're there. So you're still going to be the authority of this at the end of the day. Oh, but yeah, let's try our best.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did try to do some research also, just to make sure that we're somewhat covered. But getting started today, our first question is, how long can a shark live?
Yeah, so I think most species of shark, it's going to be somewhere like the 20 to 30 year range. But some live longer, some live shorter lives. I think depending on the size, the larger the shark, the older they tend to be. And then also, we talked a little bit about some of those deep sea species. And I think in general, anything that lives in the bottom of the ocean has like a insanely small or insanely like sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Slow metabolism. And they tend to live a lot longer than even that. Because we were talking about before the stream, Greenland sharks who have extremely long lifespans, right? What were you saying, JJ?
They're
like around
300 to 400 years.
Oh my god.
And
they found them to be they found some Greenland sharks to be 500 plus years old.
Yeah, so
wow.
they basically like half a millennium shark that gets so old. But if you actually look at them, it's actually like I
thought you were saying they ate half of a millennial.
No. There's a few people that might clap about that, like, oh, that's what you get for trying to rent and not buy. But anyway, and apparently they also nicknamed them zombie sharks because they actually, if you look at them, they look like zombies. I'm trying to get a picture up now so you guys can see. But yeah, that's the oldest. I think it's the oldest living vertebrae as well. Like, they're the longest living vertebrae. Besides, there's a mortal jellyfish, but that's not a vertebrae, so it doesn't count. Ha.
Super cool. So sharks are really interesting, and there's not a lot we know about them.
And yeah, not all of them want to bitey, chewy.
Not all of them want to bitey.
Some of them just want a little fry.
All right. Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right, what's next?
we've got done.
Yep, our next question is, do sharks live closer to temperate zones or are they just all over?
So they're really all over, but you're gonna get various different like species depending on where you're at. So like animals like great whites really like a little bit of a colder water. Um so you're not really going to find them, in the Gulf of Mexico typically, or like things like that, right?
Yeah.
So so it really there's so many different species of shark and a lot that we don't even know about, and you're just going to find them in different areas depending on what their adaptations are. So yeah, I mean, like here off of the coast of BC, we have seen some great whites. It's very, very rare. But mostly we get animals like basking sharks, who are really cool animals.
Ooh.
They're actually like filter feeders. They're almost a little bit like whale sharks.
Okay.
Yeah, off of our coast, which is really interesting. And then we also have salmon sharks, which are closely related to great whites, if I recall my shark knowledge.
Except they salmon.
And but they eat salmon. They're a little bit smaller, but you can see when you look at them, you're like, oh yes, that is like a mini great white.
It's like you get a fry, it's like, oh wait.
Yeah. And we've got some other species as well, but those are kind of like some of the more prevalent species off of our coast. But anywhere you live is going to be just a little bit different.
But the whole the basking shark, by the way, sounds like a chilled shark. It just, I don't know, like
It is. So you don't
Really
if you
good.
see a basking shark, you really don't have to be too worried about that animal. They're really just kind of cool, and they're not typically going to be like a threat.
It's just basically
Even though they look a little alarming, they are specifically filter feeders. So they do not eat they don't even eat things as big as fish. So they are a very large species. But they are not dangerous to humans.
Giant guppies
Typically.
also look terrible, but they wouldn't harm a fly. So, yes, we're trying to promote sharks, people, at Shark Week. Shark Week is it Shark? No, that's in September.
It is. It's Shark
Shark
Week.
Week.
A lot of places are kind of making it like Shark Month though, so you'll be hearing about sharks for a while. But yeah, Shark Week. Let's go.
I got a question here very quickly. Do dolphins fight sharks?
Yeah, it's been documented. But it's also sharks will eat dolphins too, so that does happen. So yeah, it's kind of a complex kind of a thing, but it's not like anytime a dolphin sees a shark, they're gonna go after them because it's kind of the thing that we propagate because we love dolphins for some reason. Dolphins can do no wrong, and we hate sharks. So dolphins must hate sharks just like we do,
and they must fight
that
the
sort
evil.
Yeah. So, but just in the same sense that, like, if a dolphin, like, if a shark goes after a dolphin's going to try to defend itself. Or if they have young in the area and stuff like that. So they if they have to, they definitely would. But sharks are typically not on the menu that much for dolphins. So it'd be expending a lot of energy for, not really much gain for them.
Now, call me, maybe stand corrected, but wasn't it you that mentioned something? I don't know if you mentioned that actually dolphins attack people more than sharks, or as much as sharks, just never gets reported. Can't remember. I swear to God.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it was me. Dolphins are every year there's more recorded dolphin attacks on humans than there are sharks attacking people. But there's rarely any fatalities, of course, but it's like, and then like you said, some of them are just like, people are like, oh, I had a crazy dolphin encounter, and I broke a couple ribs, but I'm sure it was an accident, and it's like people are not reporting them quite properly, but yeah, dolphins are dangerous and should be considered so, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just always going back to the thing. Always respect the animals. Don't go near them, no matter how cute they are. But yeah, next question.
Next question is, are sharks solitary animals or do they live in groups?
Yeah, and again, this is going to depend why, back to our principle on this AMA program, which is that I never give a straight answer to anything. Yes and no. So some sharks, like great whites, for instance, and, a lot of sharks really tend to be widely solitary. However, that's going to really depend on the situation. You might see a bunch of them in an area if there's a lot of food or a reason, for them to all be in the same place, breeding, etc. And then there are some sharks that are pretty social. Like hammerhead sharks can be seen in huge numbers, like thousands, swimming in a school of hammerhead sharks. So it really kind of depends. There's not really like documented like cooperative feeding or anything like that. It just tends to be like, animals that are in the same area, but yeah, it depends on the species, and it also depends on what's going on, with those animals at the particular time.
I've seen shark frenzies. Of course, it was planned, but yeah, they can be friends at the best of time. But just like anytime there's food involved, they'll be just like any other wild animal. They will gnaw at each other and bite each other, and then swim together happily, like nothing ever happened. But
Yeah,
it's
they don't hold grudges. They don't hold grudges.
It's like boxing. Oh, afterwards, I love you so much. It was a great fight. I'm like, I just punched you in the face. No.
Yeah, then they're like hugging and everything.
Okay, moving on to the next question.
Our next question is, what does shark skin feel like?
So it's very, very rough. It's almost like a cat's tongue.
Yes.
It's very similar texture on a shark's skin. So they do have very rough, like very leathery and sandpapery, tough skin.
Tentacles.
So
it's called almost like teeth. Same.
Double's telling me it's called denticles.
Denticles. If that's a real word, I love
Sorry.
it. But yeah.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
No, but it is. Very rough.
Yeah, so it's almost like having like small teeth on their skin.
It's like almost they need the rep. Like, listen, dolphins, you keep your smooth little skin. We're gonna have this rough skin because we're sharks. But it's
right.
Apparently, someone once told me it's like it's just an evolved form of fish scales. Don't know if that's true because that was told to me in like 1994 by the Sharks Board, and there's a controversy there. But it's basically like they've evolved so much that their fish scales became extremely bumpy skin. So interesting science.
Yeah, I mean that could be like, I mean, usually whenever anybody has something, like we all, as vertebrates, we all have very similar characteristics, and so most of our things are just adaptations of something else in one way or another. And sharks are a fish, but they're in the fish sort of like genetic tree. There's osteichthyes, which is the bony fish that have like actual calcium bones. So those are just like your normal fish, your salmon, all those guys. And then sharks and rays fall into the chondrichthyes, which means that they actually don't have any calcified bones. They are cartilage.
Oh, so like
they're. Yeah, exactly. Like your nose, your ears. So they're cartilage the whole way through. I don't know if anybody cares, but but there you go.
Yeah, I would care because he needs to know that in some parts of them they're a little bit vulnerable. It's like they have soft bones. But gee, okay, that explains a lot. But yeah, someone just said on my chat, which that's always been the thing. They reckon Jaws was responsible for a lot of shark killings. Yeah, Jaws was one of the prime reasons that the impressions of sharks was very bad. But as usual, that is humans unable to separate truth from reality and what it actually is. But that's greatly improved in recent times, thanks to things like Shark Week. But thanks for that.
Yeah. But yeah, I talk about that in my YouTube video too. The book and the movie Jaws, and even the author of the book Jaws, he has expressed extreme regret at ever writing it. Because of what happened in the fallout of it. So,
but I can see how.
So yeah,
I can see how everyone changed the tone because that new movie Megalodon, everyone was rooting for the sharks. It's like
Megalodon.
yeah, like oh my god, yeah, that's just. But but it's so good to have these sort of things to educate people because I know there's a lot of people. I actually got DM'd sometimes. There are some of you that didn't want me to put a proper shark picture in my background because it has a fear, which is a genuine thing. So we're not taking it away. People have real phobias. People are scared of birds, but hopefully this education will help change some minds a little bit. But next question. Sorry, I went on a rant there as usual.
Yeah, well, as usual.
Yeah.
We had a question in chat from Monster the Mink, and it was shark skin having extremely low resistance in water. Does that enable them to swim faster?
Yeah, so I didn't know that. But I would assume so. And that would make sense for why they had evolved it in a particular way. I also think that their skin being so tough really helps with, because there are things like feeding frenzies and stuff like that, and they'll get like bites from other sharks and things like that. So I think having like a really tough skin really sort of helps them to survive more in those types of situations. But yeah, I don't know honestly anything about whether or not that's adapted for them to swim faster. I know there are some animals like the mako shark is like one of the fastest animals on the planet.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of really interesting and they just look like little torpedoes. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had, some interesting adaptations for like their skin and stuff like that for being very fast.
I think it's something that they're one of the creatures like crocodiles that haven't actually evolved in millions of years because they haven't had to or needed to.
They were like, we're perfect the way we are.
I'm happy with me, okay?
Yeah, exactly. They're the original like body positivity, like
you're gonna like me for me and I'm gonna do my job. So
yeah, because I'm having people say that they've actually used shark skin as kind of like a sort of a base for not the actual shark skin, but just like the design of it for making like swimsuits for people to but they got banned because the swimmers were so much faster. So maybe there's something to that.
Huh. The skin of the okay, that's different.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to Google that later. Next question.
Yeah.
Our next question is, do sharks make sounds?
No. Not really. Not like vocalizations in the way that like
Dolphins and
yeah. But I do think I think it's the mako shark that can actually move its tail so fast that it kind of like breaks the like the water barrier enough to make like a slapping kind of sound. But no, they don't have vocal cords or any of that stuff. So again, we're getting into why people have been so afraid of them. They're such an alien species. Like it doesn't even vocalize. It's just a silent predator. It's like, so it becomes easy to see like why you could be afraid of them pretty easily.
They don't need to talk. They already walk the walk. It's like
yeah.
But you're right there. I was just quickly doing it that. They use body language to communicate, opening their jaws, nodding their heads. If I see a shark nodding at me, I don't know how I would respond to that. And even arcing their bodies can be social signals as two sharks talk to each other. I'm like,
If you're close enough to see any of those things.
Yes, exactly. Then either you're a professional or you're in big trouble or you're stupid. It's like, but you're professional. But yeah, even there, as you said, they slap their tails around. They slap each other. Oh my God, there we go. A big old slap.
They slap
body.
each other.
Oh, okay, well, fine. You could have just said yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Broken was asking if there are any freshwater sharks and what is the difference between salt and fresh.
I'm not sure if there's any specific freshwater sharks, but I think that there are species that can sort of tolerate freshwater. Like I know that in Florida and stuff, sometimes the bull sharks are like all the way up in the estuaries. Yeah, that's what Monster the Mink is saying right here. Is that they can sort of tolerate freshwater for I think periods of time, but I'm not sure if there are full freshwater sharks.
We get sharks that swim up our rivers, and they can swim quite far to the point where hippos give them hassles. but they're not freshwater sharks. They actually came from the sea, and they do this
Yeah.
in desperation and in storms to get food, but they swim quite far up. It must be very
Yeah,
perplexing.
and
to-
I think those would be bull sharks too, because you have
Yeah.
bull sharks off of your coast.
Yeah, we have a lot of different sharks off our coast. It's so weird. I'm like, I didn't know we had that many. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you find anything else, Reha?
There's a few sharks that are like known to live in both saltwater and freshwater.
Okay.
You see, that's evolution gone
Um,
berserk.
Yeah, and I wonder what their kind of adaptations would be like, because like saltwater is like typically what they're made for, and like freshwater, a lot of animals like dolphins, for instance, can't well, except for the freshwater species, but there are if a bottlenose dolphin winds up in freshwater for an extended period of time, it's going to be in a world of trouble.
Yes.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to know what kind of adaptations they have to be able to live there for periods of time.
It's just amazing
I'm
how
seeing a
versatile they
shark
are.
called a Ganges shark that lives predominantly in fresh water.
An Angus shark? That was called?
Ganges?
Genghis?
Genghis Khan?
Ganges? Oh, like no, like in the Ganges River. Is that or
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
yeah.
maybe?
It's in the rivers
Ganges.
of India, and it's a
Yeah.
freshwater shark.
Okay,
Oh.
so it is the Genghis. Okay, so they. Well, there
But
we
there's
go.
several other ones. A lot of them just go in between saltwater and freshwater.
Weird.
Like they are very
Interesting.
versatile animals.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we
Pretty.
said, they've been around for forever. They had a long
Yeah.
time to perfect this shit.
Like, oh, this water, don't worry about it. It's just sweeter.
Yeah.
There you go. This is why people are so intimidated by these animals, that they can be everywhere. But yeah, that's a whole other topic. Moving on to the next question.
Our next question is, how many sets of teeth might a shark go through in their lifetime?
Ooh, I like
Yeah, I
this
think
one.
this is going to largely depend on, well, a lot of things. How long a shark lives, and how aggressively it is, so that its like teeth are, being, well, actually I think it doesn't really matter. I think their teeth are replaced pretty much at the same rate. No matter if they knock them out or not, they just kind of row up. But I mean, like tens of thousands potentially, because they have unlimited ability to continue to make new teeth. So and I think their teeth are the only sort of like hard part, because we talked about how they're like they're a sort of a cartilaginous species. I think their teeth are the hardest part of their bodies. But yeah, I mean, like, so that number's gonna depend greatly, but like, we're talking in the tens to potentially even hundreds of thousands, because they have like 300 teeth in their mouths, and then once that row is gone, it is replaced by 300 more teeth, so
Grows back.
yeah.
So the Google is saying
The Google.
that a shark may produce 20,000 teeth in its lifetime.
Sweet baby elephants. What the heck? That is a
Yeah,
lot.
and
of
I would
teeth.
like, again, that's just an average, so some might do 50, some might do 150,000, so it's really
Depends
just
how
going to kind of
successful
depend.
they are at what they do. It's like, gosh.
Yeah, how long they live mostly.
Who did this research? Brave man. Brave woman. It's like, geez, 20,000. My God.
I mean, I imagine it's just like they're just taking like an average, That's the
Yes.
thing about science, right? Is that they're like, okay, well, on average, they replace their teeth every, month.
So
So,
there must be, let's calculate.
doing some math, crunching some numbers. Yeah.
Crunching some numbers. What a pun. Well done. But that's actually, gee, my goodness. But yeah, next question.
Lots of toofies.
Yeah, tooths.
Next question is, are jellyfish stings more common and deadly than shark?
Yes.
God.
Confession. We discussed this pre-stream, but so jellyfish sting like way more people than sharks attack people. I forget what you said, Rehab, but it's like in the
Approximately 150 million people per year are stung by jellyfish.
My God,
Jeez, we need to do
that is
something
a
about
lot.
this, people. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like these jellyfish are guiding themselves to you.
They don't have brains.
They're floating to you, and they still do more damage than a smart shark.
It's
According
that's
to
amazing.
the International Shark Attack File, there were 129 alleged cases last year in 2020.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Alleged.
To protect what? What are you trying to protect? Is it a lawyer? This jellyfish is lawyered up. Allegedly.
So in total, there were confirmed 57 bites
Yeah.
and 10 fatalities.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
And the
So
US is leading.
So yeah, which even when you think about like it's something too with like it's something like 50 people are killed every year by like farm animals. So like really
Yeah.
these numbers are like very low. But yeah, so you're far more likely to be injured or or have an encounter
Yeah.
with a jellyfish than you are with a shark. And I'm not sure exactly how likely you are to die from a jellyfish sting. I know there are several deadly types of jellyfish. But I think most of them are just excruciatingly painful. Also, don't pee on your friends because that doesn't help a jellyfish sting. It does not help. It is a myth. You're going to look silly. Don't pee on your
great.
friends.
It'll make a great TikTok video.
Don't let your friends pee on you. Friends don't let friends pee on you.
Yes, no matter in what category or level, please stop doing that.
No matter the circumstance.
Yeah, but
what if it's Llama says, what if it's not for the sting? As long as you don't tell me about it, that's fine.
There's a whole category and website for that. Please go there. It's like no.
yeah. That's a different website.
It's like, oh, did you get stung by a fish? Can I pee on you? I'm like, I haven't even been in the water. What's wrong with you, sir? It's like, no. But yeah,
you haven't even been in the water.
But I've definitely had a lot more. I mean, I swim in one of the most dangerous oceans that we even have shark nets. I've been stung more by blue bottles ever in my life and jellyfish. I've never once been attacked by a shark. And I've swum with sharks. I said this at the beginning of the stream. Never been attacked by a shark. So there we go. I mean, and most of it is mistaken identity. They'll assume a surfboard, and most of the time when they do take a bite, they immediately like, ugh, this human tastes like rubbish, and swims away. So they know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not to say that it couldn't happen that a shark would be like, fuck, I'm hungry enough, I'm gonna just eat this person. But, they're mostly, eating things that are far fattier than we are. No matter the size of the person, blubber on a seal like beats you any day. So
absolutely.
So yeah, it's just not it's not what they're usually looking for. It's just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot of the time.
That's good. And we're not salted. I mean, seals are already salted. They like. I mean, there's a whole no.
Pre-salted.
Yeah, they pre-salted. They swim in ocean, and we just go in there with our disgusting oily. I've just put on coconut oil like stuff on me. That shark's gonna be like, it tastes like a pineapple. No.
They have very strong senses of smell, but it's actually a little bit more like a chemical sense. They have a few like really interesting adaptations. They have something called the ampullae of Lorenzini. I trust I'm saying that right.
Is that line?
No, that's a lateral line, and that's something super cool, but a little bit different. Oh, look, a ferret is awake. My ferrets got vaccinated today, so I didn't expect to see them around. So the ampullae of Lorenzini are like these, basically like receptors. Sir. Just because you went to the vet doesn't mean you get to poop on the floor. Sorry. So I fixed it. So all of these little sensors are basically like chemical sensors, and they can really smell with that. And that's a lot of what gives them the ability to sense things like blood and stuff like that in the water, which is really, really interesting. So ampullae of Lorenzini, real thing.
Yeah.
But yes, they do have the lateral line is what they use to sense like electric vibrations and
Yes.
things like that. So these are just otherworldly creatures, you know. It's very, very interesting. But you can see the ampullae of Lorenzini with the naked eye when you're looking at. Well, hopefully you're never this close, because again.
Yeah. Again, then you're having a different conversation.
Yeah.
You might be there like, I wish I'd listened to the AMA.
Yeah.
It's that. But yeah, they're the ones.
I wish I paid more attention to
Yeah.
KP.
I keep
Ah!
asking the same questions every week, and I didn't watch a video
No,
this week.
I can't save you from a shark attack. I can't.
No. But definitely one of the things is we get told is like sharks can smell. And I use that term lightly, like animal waste.
Yeah.
So if you pee in the water, blood from miles away, that's not a fake thing. It's like, don't pee in the ocean if you know there's sharks around.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we say smell, but it's something that we can sort of wrap our heads around. But it's basically just a completely different sort of sense. But yes, it is like, you know, kind of similar to scent in a type of way. But really, really interesting. They're just like really phenomenal animals.
They are the best. Well, they really are, because I mean, again, they haven't evolved. But moving on to the next questions. They're not floofy, but they're cool. Let's move on to the next question.
Our next question is, what shark species are the most endangered?
Most endangered?
Oh, wow. That's a
Gosh.
good question.
Yeah. I don't actually know. I'm sure the
have a
Google
list.
knows. Ah, Reha knows. It's her
So
birthday.
this is-
She's doing shark research.
This is from the IUCN Red List, and it is saying the African spotted cat shark,
Okay.
the Ganges shark,
Oh, okay. The one we
Irrawaddy
talked
river
about.
shark,
Irrawaddy, yeah.
Dagenham shark, angel shark. There's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Endangered.
And these are mainly listed as critically endangered.
Mm-hmm. So
The
critically
strength-
endangered is a step above just endangered, is a step above threatened, you know.
Yeah. So they're like red
So
flags.
basically everything is in serious peril. And that's
Basically,
kind
yeah,
of
thanks.
where we're at with sharks.
We've managed to take an animal that has survived million years without changing its form and cock it up in a couple of years. It's it's, again, humans. Yay!
So this one especially, a Pondicherry shark.
A what?
Pon
How do you spell it?
Pondicherry. Pondicherry.
Pondicherry shark.
I'm just gonna sit here and stare at the screen.
Saying
Like,
that there
right?
were only 20 specimens available to study.
20.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Now that is definitely put that on the endangered list. Thank you very much. Oh my god.
Yeah. Critical for sure.
We can't have nice things.
No, this is why we can't have nice things.
But yeah, that's. Can we have a lighter question now, please?
Well, the next question is, are great white sharks the only dangerous shark?
Okay.
Yeah, so no, they're not. And in a lot of cases, in a lot of places, they're not even the most dangerous species. They tend to be dangerous only because, like, of circumstance, really. They are large enough to do serious damage to people, right? So, and are large enough also, usually, to be preying on the things that look like people in the water. Yeah. So, they eat things like seals and sea lions a lot of times. And that is what we can sometimes look like and what our electrical signals sort of give off when we are in the water. So that, and where we swim, I mean, like off the coast of South Africa, there's an enormous population of fur seals. Cape fur seals down there, and so it's just like prime shark area because that's where the food is. So great white sharks definitely are kind of like the big one. Well, they are big, and so they're definitely the most villainized, but there's animals like the tiger shark, who's known to be extremely aggressive. And you can find those guys. I think those are some of the big guys off of Hawaii that are causing a lot of problems down there. Because you don't typically, I don't think, have great whites in Hawaii. Do you, Reha?
I think there's like sightings, but they're not actually common here. The most are hammerheads, tigers, and bull sharks. Yeah,
and bull sharks are also extremely dangerous. They have like, it's something crazy. I once read a statistic that, I don't know, something like a female bull shark, adult bull shark, has more testosterone in her body than a bull elephant or something like that. Like it's pretty crazy. Yeah, so they are an aggressive species for sure. And bull sharks are the ones, I think, or maybe it's tiger sharks, which is the one that is like the garbage disposal of the sea and will literally just eat anything. Like they find license plates and stuff like that inside of them.
I want to say it's tiger sharks.
Yeah,
I think it might be tiger sharks too.
Those are the ones that our sharks board normally catch. And yeah, Tessa even said, "Congratulations!" She said tiger sharks are more dangerous. Yes, you're right. We have a sharks board here, and they used to obviously do tours and that. And one of the parts of the tours which no one warned us about was they find the dead tiger sharks that they obviously catch with the nets back then. They put them on the table. It's going to get graphic, and they cut their stomachs open in front of you. First of all, the smell is unbelievable. Like, I will never forget that. And literally, they found boots, license plates. I don't even know how the license plates ended there. Car keys, but a range of objects you would never expect to be in a shark's belly. They found it in these sharks, so they will munch on anything.
That's I think part of what makes tiger sharks so dangerous to people is that, like, so unlike all the other sharks who are a little bit pickier and are like, ew, gross, humans, tiger sharks are like, whatever, dude, I eat tires, so this is fine, you know. So there are several different species that are more dangerous than the great white shark for sure.
So that shark
we do have we do have great white sharks off the west coast of the US, mostly down in California area is where you're going to find them.
And also someone just told us Pondicherry is an Indian city. There we go.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Indian Ocean sharks are the ones that are like they're small but they're dangerous. It's the tiger sharks and all those guys.
But even those are like kind of the three big ones. There's still like you can get people have been attacked by black tip sharks. People have been attacked by a variety of different species of sharks. So, but again, it's very highly unlikely. But
and then just listen to the people who warn you.
Well, it's kind of funny too, though, because people get attacked by bears and people get attacked by like predators and lions and hippos, and we're not like trying to exterminate the entire species, you know.
Just because.
I think part of it comes from the fact that like sharks don't have, except for this one that's swimming at us right now, that's kind of cute. Like they don't have like facial, sorts of expressions in there. Their eyes are like a doll's eyes, like
horror movie.
So yeah, there's like you don't get like as endeared to them, or some people don't. A lot of people do love sharks, and even I do not want to be eaten by a shark. Like,
yes,
you know what? But we have to recognize that it's like very unlikely, and if you're worried about it, then just don't go in the water. They can't get you if you're not in the water. That's a fact. Sharknado is not real.
Absolutely. But very entertaining in a horrible way. Tessa just said in our chat, I've been attacked by a cat shark. Meaning a cat. Yeah, you're most likely been attacked by your cat or animal than an actual shark. But if you want to see cute baby sharks, Google baby hammerheads. Oh my gosh. No, not that song. Google baby hammerheads. They are so adorable. Like when they're little babies, and then they grow up, like most things, to be looking very mean.
Oh, it's like a little puppy.
Yeah, they are so cute. But I mean,
Oh my god! Also, look at this little stuffy. Yeah, no. Oh no, this one's on a plate. Yeah, for sure. I think you can endear yourself to sharks, but I think it's very easy to be afraid of being eaten alive, and very very easy to sort of like villainize a species. But they're actually they're very very important for the environment, and without them, we don't really know what would happen. So
close to being a keystone species.
Well, I don't know that they're a keystone species, but when you have so many of an animal, and they're in every ocean, so like if you eliminated all of them, like I don't know that you need to be a keystone species if you're, if they just eliminate 100 billion of this animal, then it's going to like cause a problem no matter what, kind of like if we didn't have, much to my own personal, chagrin, like if spiders didn't exist, the world would be a infinitely worse place. And not necessarily that they're a keystone species, but just like they are a predator, and eliminating any kind of predator like that has just far-reaching consequences for the world. So.
Oh wow! Someone just posted the most dangerous animal on Earth is a mosquito.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, that put things in perspective.
Yeah. Also the most irritating.
Yes. Got a song for you, 3 a.m. in the morning. And they can turn invisible.
I didn't know this existed, but I found a government page for Hawaii, and we've had 6 reported shark attacks this year so far.
Oh, wow.
And they were all tiger sharks.
Yeah.
And the depth, they put the depth of water, and it's as close as 3 feet deep.
Yeah. And so that's the thing, is actually most shark attacks occur in very shallow water. Yeah. Like the vast majority of shark attacks happen in shallow water where people are standing. So yeah, I mean, like these guys they're out there, they're hunting, and you can't really see them, like you watch some of this footage of helicopters flying along the beach, and there's just sharks everywhere, and people are just swimming, and they're out there, and you just don't know. And more often than not, nothing happens, but it's a risk that you take when you're entering the environment of an apex predator.
It's true. There's a lot of which comes here, and funny enough, it's not necessarily related, but how oblivious people are, because seals swim by the shore, and they think your feet are fish. So people have been at Cape Town and be bitten by seals, but we've actually seen there was a lone seal swimming on the beach, and we could actually see his dark body move in between people swimming. And so the one person, like, you saw the jet and run away, but it literally swam to the people and no one noticed. And it's a seal, it was the same size as a small tiger shark, swimming to the people, nobody noticed. But
yeah.
Could lose a foot because you're busy splashing in the water.
Yeah.
Don't pee in the ocean.
No, people. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's the same as when you go... if you chose to go walking in the brush in South Africa somewhere, you're taking the risk of getting bit by a snake, of getting, hunted by some other creature, getting smashed to smithereens by something bigger than you. I mean, it's all, it's the world belongs to everybody. So
people end up with bears on their front lawns. It's like, no matter where you go, if you're living next to wild animals, you could easily be attacked. Doesn't make them mean. Doesn't make them evil. It's the natural order of things, and we're very squishy, by the way.
Well, also when you think of so how many 6 shark attacks off the coast of Hawaii just this year. Well, I guarantee you there's probably been like I don't know, 2 million sharks killed by humans around the world so far this year.
Yeah, we
so yeah, so the unfairly weighted. Yeah.
Someone is asking on our side, it's related with pups. Are sharks more aggressive when they are pups? And do male sharks care about pups? I feel the second one's going to be no, from reputation.
Yeah, I really don't think so. I don't think that there's really any... I don't think there's really any male sharks that have anything to do with the pups. And actually, for the most part, the mom sharks don't have anything to do with the pups. There are some species that do live birth, which is really interesting. But I think pretty much after that, it's like, see ya. I think there are some sharks that do that lay eggs, and they'll kind of like stick around the area for a little while for them to hatch, I believe. But for the most part, there's no maternal or paternal care when it comes to sharks. And I don't think the younger ones are more aggressive. I think they're probably less aggressive. And then, you get like also a younger one when we're talking about aggressive, like towards humans, right? Is what I'm assuming we're talking about, because the younger ones are going to be smaller and are less likely to think that they can take you on. Whereas, because great white sharks, when they're juveniles, are typically fish eaters.
Yeah.
So they're not even going to really be looking at you until they're like 15, 20 feet long. And that's, when they start moving into eating more marine mammals. And then they might, look and go like, hey, what's going on over here? So yeah, I don't know if there's a correlation between like being younger and more aggressive or older and more aggressive. I do think that the female sharks in general tend to be much larger. And so they are going to be more interested in like bigger prey. Not to say that a male shark can't hurt you either, but the female sharks are bigger.
You've just actually, my mind's just been like a little bit, because I know they're fish, but there are sharks that lay eggs. I've only seen sharks give birth, like live birth. And yes, by the way, the baby sharks end up swimming away and like, no, thanks, mom. But
yeah, so like Opal Alpha saying in my chat here, there's something called a mermaid's purse. I think this is dogfish, which is actually a type of shark. Isn't that usually who does this? But anyway, look there's a little shark in like a little purse, like a little pouch of shark. So yeah, there are some that do sort of egg laying, if you could call it that. Like this is sort of a shark egg, although it's very odd looking.
Oh my god, this is so weird.
Yeah. So this is a mermaid's purse. I think it's dogfish that do this specifically. Oh, this is a baby cat shark. Oh my god, there's so many. We got cat sharks and dogfish, and nobody knows what's going on.
What planet do we live on?
But yeah, so you may even have seen them on the beach if you've been, JJ. Like they look like this when they're all dried up, but that's what that is.
For all I know, could have been never noticed and picked up. Like, look at this little shell. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And like, ew, but it's squishy. And be like, I've got some poor shark's baby. I'm just showing it on my stream. That's what the shark eggs look like. There's spiny ones, there's curly ones, there's small ones. Like they accessorize their eggs.
Accessorized, just like a purse.
Yeah, it's like, I want the spinny one or the Louis Vuitton. But I've seen sharks give live birth. That's fascinating. It's like,
yeah.
And then it's gone. It's over. It's like they had a relationship and then, okay, cheers. It's so weird, but it's actually very awesome to see. But yeah, look at those things. It's so fascinating. I do believe I've never picked one up. I think I would have noticed something that freaking ass weird, like this coil thing. It's designed like a coil for a reason.
Well, I think it's usually attached to like something kind of.
Because I'm just imagining some poor mother shark screaming like, "Oh my god, get out of here!" Oh gosh, and someone shows how the baby shark looks inside the pouch, and we're not showing that on stream. But oh my god. Okay, moving on to the next question, please.
Our next question is: what other animals prey on sharks?
What other animals prey on sharks? Well, we did talk a little bit about how like dolphins will sometimes kill them. There are certain species of animal, like there is a type of killer whale that exclusively eats sharks, and mostly just their livers.
Good Lord, how specific! You've said this before, yes.
Yeah. So there are some types of fancy. There are some kinds of creatures that very specifically prey on sharks. So obviously, like not having sharks around would be a serious issue for certain species. So I don't know about a lot of the other ones, but I did mention in my latest YouTube video for Shark Week, there have also been instances of sea otters eating sharks off the coast of California, which is pretty amazing. Like, I wish I could have seen the underwater footage of how in the world that came to play.
Yes, it's like that's
but yeah. octopus possibly hunting sharks. Yeah, so there are lots of animals that will potentially eat them. Obviously, once you get into the big, like, you know, a big female great white shark has very few things to be afraid of.
Yeah,
But
except humans.
killer whales are one of them for sure.
But we also got here, sometimes one of our audience finds empty ray eggs on the French coast. Next time, take pictures. We have to see this. Is a stingray a type of shark? No, well, I'm being stupid. No, Jason.
No, stingrays, they're in the same family. So stingrays are in the chondrichthyes family. Like sharks and rays are essentially like they're extremely closely related. So it's not necessarily wrong to say that a ray is kind of a shark, and vice versa. But there's some slight differences. But yeah, they're both in the same family.
Well, interesting. We're learning things, people. Next question.
We're learning.
How many questions have we got down so far? Sorry, Rhea.
How many questions do we have left?
Yes, I should say.
8. We have 8 more questions.
Goodness, you guys love sharks.
Yes.
All right.
Our next question is: are the northern sea otters near Alaska more or less vulnerable to sharks?
I would say they're less vulnerable because there really aren't great whites up there, or even tiger sharks, or I don't even think even bull sharks. I think that's they do have really interesting species of shark off the coast of Alaska, but nothing that I would think are going to eat sea otters. It's also important to note that even though there have been cases of sea otters being attacked by sharks, they are not that common, just like it's not that common for humans to get attacked by sharks. The only issue is, and this is the same issue with people too, right, is that, a shark might attack a sea otter and then very quickly go, this is disgusting. This fur ball has zero fat on it. But if it's gotten to the point where they've attacked a sea otter, the sea otter is not... is probably in a bad way because sea otters are so much smaller. And the same, with humans too, is a lot of times those fatalities, it's not as if they were being eaten by the shark, so to speak, but you get bit in the exact wrong place and that can be the end of it. So yeah, it's while it is documented for sea otters to get attacked by sharks, it's not super likely.
Yeah. We just have one question.
And yeah, off the coast of Alaska is too cold for sure.
Have one question here, and this one I actually know. Oh my gosh, I know something. But it says, how do great white sharks populations not explode considering they don't have much predators to worry about? It's not that they're the most powerful predator, it's the amount of food that's available to them. Great white sharks are actually disappearing off the coast of South Africa because they're running out of food. So you don't need to be the predator
and like a mom shark needs a lot in order to reproduce too, and it takes a long time. Like they're not just like
popping up babies.
Yeah. So like a long kind of reproduction cycle, and I think they're still looking. Like I do not think that they've even found where the breeding grounds of these animals are yet. So yeah, so there's a lot of factors coupled with that they're definitely not. It's not a booming population by any means.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors to consider, and as mentioned, everything's attached to each other. Responsible fishing, but we do have a gathering of great white sharks, and it always makes the news. But half the time, they suspect it's for breeding, but it's also to hunt for food, and it's getting less and less. As you know, the fishermen always end up complaining.
Yeah. I mean, the important thing about that too is like we can blame fishermen all we want, and there should be regulations, but at the same time, if we don't give them some other way to make a living, it's not really fair. A lot of times it's all that they have, so that they need to be sort of given an alternative to shark finning and stuff like that.
Depends what kind of fisherman it is. I mean, I think we need to eliminate the big organizations using the massive nets and start finding our supplies from local fishermen, because they don't blame the corporations for the lack of fish. They immediately want to attack the animal who is naturally designed to be in the water to swim. We're not designed to do that. So I think that's a whole different conversation as well. It's like big corporations are the problems. They're overfishing. The local people with their small boats, they come back. They haven't really done a dent. They're just trying to feed their families as well. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question.
Our next question is, has the recent heat wave that hit the western part of North America and Canada affected shark senses in any way?
I think it's way too early to know the answer to that. However, shameless plug, this Saturday, my YouTube video is going to be currently about that heat wave and about its effects on the environment. But a lot of that is going to be, kind of speculation because, until these things start at one area and then they spread. And so it's going to be very difficult to know exactly what those effects are going to be in the long term. So I have no idea. And, I think it's safe to say it probably just affected about everything. As climate change is wont to do. So yeah, but it's going to be a long time before we know the full extent of the effects of all the animals lost and the temperature changes that happened up here during that heat wave, for sure.
It's crazy the world we live in with heat. But next question.
Okay, so our next question is, what is the closest you've been to a large shark?
Yeah, so I did go cage diving with sharks off the coast of Hawaii. They were very close. It's pretty regulated out there, so they basically they'll pull us out of the water immediately if a tiger shark rolls around into the area. But we were swimming with like blacktip reef sharks and stuff like that. Let's see. In Belize, I essentially like jumped into the water with bunch of lemon sharks for the most part. And Double Agent was like freaking out. He's very afraid of the water, and he was like, "Get back in the boat!" And I was like, "No." So that was really awesome. And then what was probably my coolest encounter with a shark is that when I was working with Taslina, working with the sea otter up in Alaska, Alaska Sea Life Center had a grant and was in the middle of a really interesting research project on the I think it was the six-gill shark, which is it's a type of deep sea shark. So they're very rarely seen, and what they were doing was they were actually able to capture an animal, bring it back to the facility, measure metabolics and things like that on that animal for a week or so, and then they would go and release it back out into the ocean, and then potentially catch another animal. So that way you're minimalizing impact on the animal, but getting really important research. And so I got to see, I have pictures of this shark, and like right there, like right in front of me, and an animal that most people will never see. Which was super, super duper cool. Really amazing research. And it was all very, very exciting.
And it's one of those I see that can like really open their jaw up, like overextend it. Wow.
Yeah. Well, a very, very interesting species. And they have one of those like super long lifespans, really slow metabolisms, that we were kind of talking about earlier on.
The fountain you've used is deep in the ocean. Clearly. Just live in the dark.
Somewhere down there, yeah. Wow.
Okay, that's an interesting experience. From cage diving to actually swimming with lemon sharks. Is it not an invigorating feeling to almost be like in that mist, knowing that you're perfectly safe, but also it's like that back of your head, like your brain wants to say, get out the water. It's a bit of
I'm pretty ballsy, but what was nice is that there's the visibility was like, I feel like I'd be far worse if the visibility is bad. Like you could see for like hundreds of yards under the water. So like I I was never super worried about that. But my friends who do a lot of scuba diving and stuff and do like night diving and stuff, and
Oh
I'm like,
gosh.
absolutely not,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Like,
That's
no
just
way.
different.
You couldn't pay me enough to do it. Like, so yeah. So there are limits to my bravery, but the visibility was just incredible. I was in Belize. I could have literally stood up. Although we talked about how doesn't necessarily make you safe. But yeah. So sometimes sometimes I'm braver than other times.
I've actually saw a hammerhead shark. Like,
Oh, cool.
I went spear diving when I was a kid with my uncle, and we found a really big school of fish in the like harbor area, and it was so cool, and it was really clear water. The light was coming through, but then a hammerhead came in, and I was just kind of watching it for a little while, and it wasn't really bothering us. It was just going for the fish, but we had to leave eventually because barracudas started coming in.
Oh yeah, barracuda. I saw a barracuda
So-
once.
Barracudas are the
Yankee.
ones.
Yeah. Ooh,
But it
barracuda.
was really cool, and like I didn't really feel too afraid of the hammerhead. 'Cause
No, hammerheads, they have attacked people, but for the most part, hammerheads are like, their mouths are not made for like,
Nippy.
they don't really, they don't, their mouths are really strange. It's like a walrus's mouth. Like, it's very difficult to get bit by a hammerhead shark. Like, it is possible, but not like
Oddly enough,
entirely
barracudas
likely.
are actually more dangerous
it.
in that regard.
Also, my chat is like, oh, what if you had a big light underwater? Are you out of your mind? That's even worse.
You
Then you
attack
have like
sharks.
a thin line of what you can see, and you're just spinning around.
Yes.
Like, no way.
Haven't
no
you ever
way.
watched
Stay
horror
out of the water
movies?
at nighttime.
Like every
Not only
time-
can you not swim well because you're this strange, primate in the water, but you're gonna really mess yourself up by the fact that you can't see at night and like, oh my
with
god,
this one
no,
stream of
stop
light.
it.
Every horror
Stop
movie
it.
is the person gets attacked when they turn the torch around. They turn it to look
No,
at the other person. Like,
you
"Ah!"
can't
and then it's-
see with one light. It literally would be like this one pillar of
Yes.
shining light, and then you wouldn't be able to see anywhere
wouldn't
else.
see around
And it
it.
would like, then your eyes would also never adjust. You would, oh my god, what a terrible idea. No, Libero's gonna get eaten by a
And,
shark.
and just remember the whole thing of how sharks end up by our shore. Oh, you guys didn't hear the first one because it was on silent, but in South Africa, in Durban, they find the sharks on the inside of the net because they swim towards the shore because they see the lights. Do not put a lights underwater.
You would not be safe with me, you guys, because honestly, I am not a hero in the water. If we come upon a shark, I will make it my business to be faster than you. And I do not need to be faster than the shark. I only need to be faster than my dive buddy. Like,
Smack him with the
there's
flippers.
no mercy. No mercy. I am not going out that way. No shot.
Blow your
shot.
airstream into his face, like just push them back, like no.
No.
Oh god.
No.
Mm-mm.
You better hope you are a faster swimmer than me, because otherwise you have no shot.
I think if you want to experience like that whole in the dark and turning on a light and something.
No, I don't. I don't
looking
want
at
to
you-
experience it. No.
You can
No, I'm
YouTube it.
talking about chat.
Okay.
Like either YouTube it or play Subnautica.
Yes, true.
Because that's a whole lot of darkness and
Oh,
stuff
Lord.
eating you.
And trust me,
Oh
just
my
as
God.
a video game that's scary when you turn your torch around and there's this creature that looks like a shark and it's like, and you're like, oh, yeah, I would never do this for real.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't even do night diving in a pool. Ebby's like, night diving in a pool? No, I won't even do it. Like, it doesn't matter because, your brain tricks you. If I go diving into a pool at night with zero lights, my brain instantly is like, there's a shark in here for sure. And I don't know how it got here, and it doesn't matter, but there's a shark in here 100%. Like, there's just no way.
That's where the line comes in. Something touched my leg. What touched my leg? Something touched my leg. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, I've dove in a cenote as well, but that's not zero light. It's definitely dark, and I definitely still was like, there's 100% something's gonna eat me in here. But yeah, no, you guys are all insane. You guys are all clinical.
Okay, everyone has
Don't
a
go
thing.
in there in the
You-
dark.
Listen, to those people that say that they'll go night diving, not be afraid of sharks, you're the best of us. Okay, congratulations for being the best of us. You're promoting the cause far more further than we are to even do that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it turns out it's just libero in my chat. Everybody else is like, what the fuck? Well, that's okay. At least, libero can sacrifice herself, and then the rest of us can just swim during the daytime
I've got
when it's
someone
safe.
in my chat. I've got a friend who does night diving,
Oh,
but
poor
he's in the
Shelter.
Navy. Yes, he's in the Navy. Okay, he's trained for that.
Yeah, no.
That's a good enough
No.
reason. Next
Oh my gosh.
question.
Yeah, I love
next-
sharks, but I am not about to get eaten by one.
There's no need
Okay,
to provoke
so
one. There's no need to
Yeah.
increase the risk factor just to prove a point. Okay, it's just. I love Ferraris. I'm not going to stand on the road
All
when
right.
one's driving towards me.
What's your question, Reha?
What is the silliest fact you've heard someone say about sharks?
Oh, the silliest fact I've heard somebody say about sharks.
They're man-eaters.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't field a lot of shark questions at work because obviously I mostly work with the marine mammals and people will come and sometimes ask questions and I'm very quick to just defer to the aquarists who have the answers to these types of things. But I think that a lot of the time this isn't really like specifically about sharks, it's more about the dolphins, but people do like say all the time like, oh, a dolphin will save you from a shark. Oh, you are out your damn mind. Like there's no
Maybe
way.
watching Flipper too much.
Yeah, no, a dolphin will just like ravage your body after the shark is done with you. Like it's not. That's just that's not a thing. So I think that's probably one of the sillier things. Although it's not directly related to sharks. I don't actually. I know some things about sharks, but I don't know an enormous amount about sharks. So. I know they don't go diving at nighttime. So.
I think the biggest conception about sharks is that they specifically designed to eat everything and humans, but don't some sharks actually have a very specific diet? Like, I only like salmon, and that's all
yeah. Well, in a lot of like even like hammerheads and stuff, a lot of those species are designed mostly for eating like crustaceans and stuff. So yeah, I mean they're it's not humans are not supposed to be on the menu. You're not supposed to be in the water. That's the whole thing. You're a land primate. Get out of the ocean.
Yes.
Like...
You're not born with flippers. You have nothing that's aerodynamical in the water. It's like
yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, but yeah, I mean they're designed for any number of things, and they're a really really interesting animal and like just like a masterpiece of evolution.
Yes. And to answer Stephen, listen, you can absolutely love sharks, but still not want to be around one in the wrong situation.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Like,
oh, that is me 100%.
there
Do you want to catch
awesome.
me dead in the water?
I love watching.
Although
sharks.
hopefully you won't catch me dead in the water.
Yeah.
But
Made
I've been surfing off the coast of BC, but like we said, we don't really have a dangerous species of shark here off the coast of BC. In fact, has anybody ever been attacked by a shark off the coast of BC? Well, anyway, I haven't heard of it. If it's happened, I haven't heard of it. Thoughts on shark repellent. So I've seen some really cool things about shark repellent. I've seen some really neat things. And I don't know enough about it to know if there's any kind of like consequences behind it. But I think that a lot of times in that shark repellent, what they're using is like dead shark smell, essentially.
Ugh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that that's a lot of times what's in the, like, because they even have like repellent bombs. You can throw it in the water and it'll disperse. It's not like a bomb per se. It just disperses the scent. There's no like explosion, but then that scent the sharks don't like. So I think that that's a really useful tool. It doesn't hurt the sharks as long as it's not like an enormous impact on like chemical chemicals being like sort of just released into the water. I don't know what that situation is, but I think it could absolutely be a useful tool for, especially if we can figure out maybe like instead of just like a quick release sort of like bomb type of situation, which is really reactive, right? It's like, oh, there's a shark in the area, throw this thing. What if there was like a short-term release kind of a thing that's just like keeping an animal from an area? So yeah, I think that that's a great thing that we should be, investing in and researching, rather than nets. that are obviously going to cause more problems for sharks and don't really seem to work anyway. So
Yeah, because they catch mostly
I looked
turtles and
up
dolphins and fish.
shark attack data for Vancouver, Canada.
one
And
attack
they're-
in 1925. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So good. So because I do surf sometimes off the coast of BC, and I've never been worried about a shark, and I'm glad to know that was that was justified. I tried to get Double to go with me. He would not, because he was afraid of sharks, and I was like, "There's no sharks here. Get in the water."
But
he would not.
One of the things that they studied here for repellents, and I think they tested it in Hawaii. I don't know if they pioneered it in Hawaii, but they also tested it in Hawaii. It's one of the two, but it was between South Africa and that, where they actually put devices on surfboards, and you could actually wear it on your suit that emitted a pulse that affects that sensory gland on the shark. And
okay, like a sound repellent, kind of.
And immediately the sharks go, whoa! Some fish do as well, but it's still a very non-lethal alternative to not having a shark bite you.
Yeah.
It's just, I would want it to at least vibrate every time it pulses, just so that I know it's working.
So was it? You know, or you like to know that something's in the area, right? You're like, okay, well, I know that's working. That's great. I'm still getting the hell out of the water.
Exactly, but it's just standing there it's working, and the shark's coming closer. Hello.
Yeah.
Did I charge the battery? But
no, I think that those types of things are really, really useful. It's kind of like, dog bark collars. They have ones that just play like an annoying beep every time that they bark, and I'll recommend those to people because it's just it doesn't hurt the dog in any way. It just plays an annoying sound. The dog goes, shit, I hate that annoying sound. I'm not gonna be annoying and bark anymore, and I think finding really uninvasive and really not harmful repellents should be, and it shouldn't be that hard. I can't imagine it'd be that hard to find something that a shark doesn't like.
Yeah, exactly. So. They've got so many sensory glands. Surely you can overload one of them. But yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, just drop a killer whale poop in the water and watch them just bail out of there.
Just dress in black and white. Go in the full onesie into the ocean.
Yeah.
Playing sounds of killer whales. Grrr, click, 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 click.
Yeah. But it probably would work, to be honest with you.
I suddenly want to try that for some reason and just be the talk of the town and I'll be a Florida man for a day. It's fine.
I think thing that you're talking about, JJ, was in that one documentary that had Chris Hemsworth.
I wasn't really watching the documentary as much as I was watching Chris Hemsworth.
I knew I was about to make a same joke. You would really watching it.
Do you blame me? I don't understand. I don't see the problem.
But it's going to sound hard. I am Thor. This is a shark meat. No, that we saw a long time ago in Durban, and they've done some shows about it, but I've never seen it since.
We are all over the place. Do we still have to get through? We have any questions? Do we have left?
Yeah, how many questions do we have left?
We have 4.
Oh, all right, let's go.
Let's go through them. We're this is a long streak.
We're behind.
Our next question is: are there rehabilitation centers for sharks?
I've never heard of one. I don't think sharks are not going to strand on a beach if they're hurt like an air breathing animal would. So I don't think so, because you're so unlikely to even find a shark that needs help.
They don't beach themselves, as you said.
Yeah, because that's something that air breathers do. So no, and is there likely to ever be one? I don't really think so. It's just, it would be so hard to find these animals. The only reason that we find animals like whales and dolphins and even sea lions and stuff is because they go to land as their base. Georgie says she thinks there is. So feel free to link it and let me know. But yeah. But that's my take on it. But I've been wrong before. It doesn't happen very often. Kind of like a shark attack.
But again, also it's one of those things that maybe not a lot of people are interested in it anyway, because it's a shark, so they don't really
well, there's that, right? They don't. there's no grant money for like shark rehab and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see what this is.
Moving on.
And we're looking at the link from Georgie.
Oh, the George.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I put a donation up on my Facebook page today for sharks. There's a lot of shark charities, like a lot. I Google manatee, nothing. Sea otters here and there, but shark, oh my goodness. So
Okay, well let's we'll look at this after because we got to get through this AMA. We're a bit of a mess, but I'll save this link and we'll check that out afterwards for sure because I'm very interested in that.
yeah,
If you look at the visibility in here, I wouldn't go swimming in here. Anyway,
still on there.
Okay, our next question is: do sharks get enrichment toys?
This is a cute question. Not really in like the sense of like what you guys would recognize as toys. But they'll do things for the sharks, like hide food or doing even like, scatter feed. Some places even do training sessions for their sharks. Even like Georgia Aquarium has ray and whale shark training sessions. So they're not really like known to play with toys necessarily. But there are things you can do, like making, a type of a foraging situation for them, even like doing like whole like carcass feeding and stuff like that makes them work at it, or like training sessions, which are super cool with sharks.
Okay. I just want to see a shark with a goose staff. But anyway, that's all. But moving on to the next question.
Okay, our next question is: what species of shark was Joey's baby toy Sharky?
Oh.
We can maybe have a vote about this. I'm assuming it was a great white shark.
Yeah,
it looked like a great white shark to me. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't come with a label.
And
tag.
would you want that shark to be anything else but a great white shark? It's like the great baby toy shark. Oh god, the song's in my head now. Thank you. And you know what I'm talking about. Oh no. No. Demonetized.
Oh, okay. Our last question. What would you say to someone who says that they don't go into the ocean because they are afraid of sharks? How would you make them feel less afraid of the ocean and show them that it's not a dangerous place?
So what do you tell Double A?
Yeah. I know. I don't. He doesn't want to go into the ocean, and I don't really care if he goes in the ocean or not. I don't know. I mean, like, I guess it doesn't really like affect me necessarily. The fact that he doesn't want to go in the ocean, like, I don't need him to go in the ocean. Like, if he's uncomfortable, then that's. And he did actually go snorkeling with me. He damn near had a panic attack, and he like was basically our snorkel guide. He was like basically riding him like his backpack the entire time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, it's like, I mean, you can give them all the facts about things and tell them how unlikely it is and stuff like that. But ultimately, like, does it really matter? Like, do we need people to be like, swimming in the ocean? I mean, I just don't. If it affects, some people might, like, if you have an extreme passion for like scuba diving and you really want to share that with your partner, like maybe that changes things a little bit, and it's worth kind of just like
if you plan for your honeymoon or something like that.
Maybe it's worth like slowly working it up, but honestly, like for the most part, like I don't know, like it doesn't affect my life at all that Double Agent doesn't want to swim in the ocean. Like it doesn't bother me. I'll go swim in the ocean, and
props to him that when he does go into the ocean, because that means he's putting in an effort. Because
he did a good job. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think that like just having like open discussions about it, and obviously you don't want to like push anybody into a situation that they're not comfortable with. So I think just like letting them go at their own pace, and but like ultimately,
I think the education
they can stay on the beach, enjoy the view of the ocean.
The education should be more on why to not be scared of sharks than getting them to go in the ocean. And I think you raised a very good point, KP. The less people we have swimming in the oceans, the better. Like.
Yeah.
We do ugly things.
Well, there's a lot of other problems associated with that. Sunscreen that you wear is really bad for like chemical pollution in the ocean. And honestly, like even though Double is deathly afraid of sharks, he loves sharks and he will absolutely advocate for sharks. So I think there's a difference, like I think somebody's opinion that you should like try to change if if you're feeling so inclined is people who think that we should just kill all the sharks in the world. So, I think those are differences there, but yeah, just because he doesn't want to go in the ocean doesn't mean he likes sharks. He likes them a lot. He just doesn't want to be eaten by them. And I can
100% love tigers. I would never be in a tiger cage alone with one.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no YouTube video that's ever gone well with that. So it makes sense. But yeah. There's a whole entire video game that I might play on Shark Week that's dedicated to sharks getting revenge. But don't worry about that.
Oh gosh. Jesus. Okay.
It's fun.
Alarming.
Yeah, I actually won't play on the stream because it's obviously it's sharks getting revenge. But it's they're featuring it on Shark Week obviously, but it's just for education. The more we know about animals, the better we equipped, the less we make stupid decisions when it comes near to that animal. But someone asked what is the rarest shark ever, and I know that is the spear-toothed shark. They're extremely dangerous. I may be wrong. I might need to have to Google this, but
extremely endangered.
Extremely endangered, like it's endangered. Spear-toothed shark.
Okay.
Glyphis. I've just googled it now. Glyphis, named it twice, is one of the rare shark species on Earth, found in the tropical rivers of New Guinea and northern Australia. There we go, Australia again. God damn it. But yeah, I
mean, and I feel like there are some places where you just shouldn't go swimming, like off the coast of Australia or off the coast of South Africa, are probably like two of the most dangerous places.
No one should be swimming in Cape Town water.
What? Actually, it's though, so off the coast of Florida, I believe off the coast of Florida, and this probably just has more to do with the fact that the population off the coast of Florida is swimming a lot, but like. It has many factors, but I'm pretty sure off the coast of Florida is where the most recorded shark attacks happen every year.
It is, according to that page that I found.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's a Florida man thing. Like, I'm going to catch myself a gator and then catch myself a shark. The shark caught me. But yeah, it's just don't swim in the... Yeah, we shouldn't... If you don't have to swim in the ocean, you don't need to swim in the ocean. Really, it's one of those things. Definitely don't swim in Cape Town water. It is freezing. It's crazy. But yeah, there we go. This was one of our longest AMAs. Like...
Well, we used to regularly really hit it hard like this, but yeah, we've been trying to be better about the hitting 1 hour. But this was a good topic, and it was Shark Week. We went all out. We went all out for it.
And it's one of the topics that we thought, maybe we should try this, and it actually turns out just like the poop. This one actually turned out to be very, very good. So
yeah, you guys are branching out.
I don't know what we're talking about next week, but obviously, guys, post ideas in our AMA chats. Ray will take a look at it and let us know what you want us to talk about in the next AMA. These are very educational.
Yeah.
I learn things. We all learn things.
My idea for next AMA was jellyfish, but I mean,
Oh, Jelly will definitely be here. Jellyfish is cool. Jellyfish.
Jelly will be here for the jellyfish.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so we'll bring it. And there's a if we do jellyfish, there's an amazing fact about jellyfish. I use it as a metaphor, which we'll bring up next week. It's amazing fact about jellyfish. But next week.
All right.
Catch your video. Are you going to be streaming after this, KP?
Yeah, I'm going to stream for a little while. Hang it. We got to check out this shark rescue and talk about some of that stuff. So
I'm going to have to drop a lurk, but people, there we go. So thank you, Rehab. Thank you, KP. Thanks to all the audience members. Thank you to Tessa as well for moderating. It's been a great pleasure.
And
a great topic.
Happiest of birthdays to Reha.
Oh yes,
thank you for keeping our lives organized.
You can guys put me on. I'm going to play the video again.
I want it to be known I told her to take the day off and to not do this today, but she insisted. So, that's how much she likes us. Our Chad best Chad.
You didn't tell me. I would have panicked. I'm like, well, what do you mean Ray is taking a day off?
I didn't run that by you. So sorry.
No, it's okay. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it, guys. But before I'll say goodbye to KP now. Before you guys leave, I'm going to play the video that was meant for Rehab that played wrong. So happy birthday, Rehab.
Have a good one.
There we go.
Hey, It's Tazzy
the day
here,
off and to not do this today, but she insisted. So, you know, that's how much she likes us.
Told her to
Our
take a
Chad
day
does
off, and you
Chad.
didn't tell me. I would have panicked. I'm like, well, what do you mean, Ray is taking a day off?
You really enjoy your day.
Yeah, I didn't run that by you. So sorry. So sorry.
No, it's okay. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it, guys. But before I'll say goodbye to KP now. Before you guys leave, I'm gonna play the video that was meant for Rehab but played wrong. So happy birthday, Rehab.
Have a good one.
There we go.
And JJ, thank you so much for everything.
The day off and to not do this today, but she insisted. So, you know, that's how much she likes us.
Told her to
Our
take a
Chad
day
does
off, and you
Chad.
didn't tell me. I would have panicked. I'm like, well, what do you mean, Ray is taking a day off?
You really enjoy your day.
Yeah, I didn't run that by you. So sorry. So sorry.
No, it's okay. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it, guys. But before I'll say goodbye to KP now. Before you guys leave, I'm gonna play the video that was meant for Rehab but played wrong.
You can
So happy
catch
birthday.
that video on my Discord. It's not. I had it all planned, and it's not playing properly. It's not playing properly. It's looping. It's looping like crazy. So please go to the Discord channel. You'll find the video there for Reha. I hope they could have played it here, but it's not. You see, you got this little screen. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It's just totally bombed. But thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. And as always, this has been the stream. Put your nose to the screen, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.